Talk Radio, you're in to all things music.
Welcome to the Changing Stage, music gear talk from the manufacturers and musicians who define the biz. Here's your host, Florentino Buenaventura.
Peaks and valleys common, therefore appreciate it. I used to get pissed, but now appreciate it. Respect the 9 to 5, but really we all hate it. Step into the cipher, your bars, you can't contain it. It's like a respiratories introduced to chemical agents. Line mechanical masons contribute to your circulation. Execution by my line, rhyme formation. Donna Sensei with Presidente, the first course chef. Pick up the dead weight, top flowing al dente. Bomb cry, long spray with the bliss of ignorance. Baking soda, arm and hammer, stay fresh, no prince from their lair. I'm South Bay, bus 703 to Trolley to TJ, TJ to Animali. Mystery, captivated misery with your synergy.
Yeah, that's right. Got a little hip-hop groove going on in here. This is the Changing Stage radio show, powered by Intertalk Radio, the worldwide leader in music business talk. And, of course, you're in to all things music. My name is Florentino, and I'm here on a special broadcast day here with a very good friend of mine, and I've known him for quite some time. I actually did some tracks with him back in the day when I was doing a little bit more music, and incredibly talented young man, and he is here with his partner, and the band that you were just listening to is Sandlot 7778. Is that correct?
That's right, man. That's right. Thanks for having us on, Tino. Good seeing you, man.
Good seeing you too. And the gentleman that I'm talking about is Mr. Riquested, and he is been a seminal rapper here in San Diego for quite some time, and around Southern California area, really kind of making it out. And he's got his bro here, SpeakEZ.
Yes, sir.
Speaking easy. So he's doing it all up like that. So we're here just basically to talk about the new project, kind of get a little idea of how this all got started, because it's actually it is a reimagination of an old project. So.
Right. It's a reboot of my old trio, Sandlot, back in the late 90s. Aging myself a little bit, but it's all good, though, because black don't crack. So
Yeah, you're like, what, 23, 24 years
man,
old?
Something like that. Something like that.
He was rapping when you were about 4 or 5 years old.
Exactly.
I was out there doing 4 or 5 years on the street corner, making it happen. You know what I'm saying?
Clicking and clacking on the old dual deck radios. Yeah, man.
Yeah, exactly, man. So, we go back. We were just talking about this before we got started. We go back where you were working at. We won't name any names of cell phone companies, AT&T, but and I was actually working for Microsoft / Nokia,
right?
And then I'd come in there and we would just start talking about music and stuff like that. And I had a band at that time, Curbside Vinyl, which was still near dear to my heart. And I got my business partner out of that, Mr. Paul Berezeski, who is also here with me right now.
What up, Paul?
Hey.
So, and then, we started doing some shows. You'd come in and sit in as, the guest featured artist, and that kind of thing. The funny thing is I was watching this, I don't know, some kind of meme or something like that, where they're talking about how rappers came in and replaced lead guitar players with the solos, because where the solo would go, they'd throw in a rapper, and they were starting battling back and forth with that. It's pretty funny.
Yep.
So you replaced Paul, man. We got you in because Paul was our lead guitar player.
We used to be the cool ones. Not anymore.
Not anymore. It's all about the rappers. So so we brought you in there. Tell us a little bit how you got started. Where did this passion come from, man? Where did you
music? So my best friend of 16 years, rest in peace, seldom seen. We met as kids. He was a 3rd grader. I was a 4th grader. Our moms worked at May Company. I don't know if anybody remembers that store.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah, old school, right? And they were from the East Coast. They were East Coast transplants. My mother and I were Caribbean transplants, and we met them maybe some 4 years after we came here to San Diego, and we became best friends. I mean, if I had 50 G.I. Joes, he had the other 50. If it was baseball cards, it was the same thing, but with baseball cards, it was probably...
G.I. Joes right now, we could fund the whole place, dude.
Yeah, man. So he was such just a fanatic of everything. So by the time me and him were coming up, we grew up with music. So MTV was just popping. We went from White Snake, Aerosmith, all those hair bands, right into Run DMC and like that old school, like real hard, like the stuff I love, LL Cool J, Rakim, all that stuff. So
Yeah,
we grew up with it. And when I say clicking and clacking on dual tech radios, we were doing all that. Like, we just loved it right away, and we just started messing with it. And we wanted to be the best, and we always liked what we liked, and we just loved it, and we grew with it. We watched hip hop grow from the cats that were older than me to the Second to Nones and DJ Quicks and all that. And you know, and I grew up in a gang infested neighborhood, so I was not interested in gang banging at all. I wanted to do everything other than that, play sports, do music. So that's kind of where it started from in the onset originally.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So, like, what was that? What was the joint that really kind of set you off when you're like, man, I got to do this?
Like, where I had to rap.
Yeah.
Speaks will make fun of me to this day, you know. Always like my emotions, like, you know, with females and whatnot. So LL Cool J, I Need Love, because like I thought girls. I fell in love
with you up there, man.
Yeah,
that's definitely.
Yeah.
I would have thought. I was thinking like Public Enemy.
Nah, because I'm talking even younger, like before, even before I met him, like LL Cool J had so many.
Love.
Yeah, that song used to make me sad, man. And I was just like, dude, I want a girlfriend so bad. And LL Cool J was too cool to me. He was too cool.
Ladies love Cool James, man.
Yeah, man.
I know, right?
And then as time progressed, for some odd reason, I'd always go back to Queens for my favorite rappers. You know, Cool G Rap. Then a little bit later, Mobb Deep, Nas.
Mobb Deep all day.
For whatever reason, Queens rappers always had my ear. And that's where hip hop started, no matter if it's
Run and DMC and the whole
yeah, man. You know, and Hollis Queens, that's right.
Yeah.
So I think wherever rap is now, I don't try to compete with the youngsters. I don't, you know, we can all eat. It's a big world, right? Yeah. But I know what motivated me, and it was old East Coast hip hop. That's what got me into loving it in the first place.
Yeah, definitely. I've been like looking at these memes where there was a little video of Snoop Dogg trying to talk. You know, he was like making kind of a statement about how rap is now, and it's like nobody has their own style. It's like and he was going on about that, and I guess somebody tried to get him to try to do that. He's like, oh, hell no, I ain't doing that.
Yeah, I saw that one too, and he was saying that they all sound the same and stuff.
Yeah. Because you guys don't have that. You mix a little, at least from the production side, because you still keep the old school rap flavor within the flow,
right?
But the production side, and is that you, SpeakEZ?
Yeah, that's me.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
So tell me, man, how did you get into this crazy business?
Just as far as making beats, it's just something that I love from day one, even before MCing, just like hearing samples, hearing different type of joints coming on. It's really like just love for it, you know what I mean? Like just like the love for the samples that I hear, I just sample it and just go from there. That's really what it was. I mean, just
what kind of tools are you using, man?
MPC, drum machine, old school shit, and just more or less just computer-based programs as well.
Which ones?
PreSonus. Just some weird. It's just some weird program that I use. I don't try to use something that everybody uses.
Are you talking about Studio One?
Studio One. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we have some good friends at PreSonus. That's why we use Studio One. We use for the productions. We use Cakewalk and there's a few different ones. So that's cool. Yeah, Studio One. There's a lot of people that use it, but we don't know that many people that we haven't run into a whole lot of people using it though yet.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's kind of like chill, but it's just like
sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just like how you freak something. Yeah. Wherever you freaked out, the application what you're using, do it how you do it. You know.
Yeah. Did you ever use Ableton or any of that stuff?
I did. Yeah, Ableton, but it just wasn't me. Like I felt like the other joint that I was using was way better PreSonus.
Okay,
for sure.
That's cool because I'm gonna do a quick shout out because our one of our big and closest sponsors is Pitbull Audio. We're gonna have a clinic with Ableton.
Nice.
Not this Saturday, but the following Saturday. So it'll be pretty cool. You should come out, man. They're gonna be the master producer will be out there, and if you got questions and stuff like that, they're gonna be showing some new stuff that's come out with that. So that'll be cool. So now, you got started there, and you guys, now, you guys have known each other for a while. How long have you?
Originally, I think we met probably, I'm going to say back in 99, 2000 when my brother first came from upstate New York. We got different moms, same pops.
So he was in high school. He was 19 and I was 16. Okay. So his brother was 19. So it was a weird situation where he was 19. I was saying, like, well, how did you even get in this high school? So the principal grabbed him. I remember one day he grabbed him, his brother, and he was like, why are you in this? Because you're 19 years old. You're not supposed to be no senior. You know what I mean? So it was just crazy, a situation where he pulled him out. It was wild.
Wow. So
a lot of mutual friends. So then we always, so we knew each other. We didn't really hang out like we do now.
Yeah.
But then back in like 2011, 2012, we kind of had our fill of like wasting time, and we both had that same sort of passion. And we said, look, let's just, that's your boy, that's my boy, but you're hungry, I'm hungry. Let's just see what we could do. So that started with him sending me beats towards the tail end of, I want to say, 2011, give or take. And it just started out little reps, like here and there, fill out process. And then more recently, this year, we decided, okay, we've had enough practice sessions. Let's try to see what we can do now. We're some 5, 6 years into it. Let's see what we could do. So timing wise, kind of silly story I tell, but when the San Diego Chargers left, that was more than football for me. For me, it was a tie-in to the community, barbecuing, seeing different people. Never really thought they'd leave. So they left. I remember my phone's going off every day, like all day, not every day, all day. You good? And I wasn't. And the very next day, my relative passed. And I was like, dang, I'm about to go down. Like I'm going to go through a little spell where I'm not going to be feeling too hot. So from afar, he watched me kind of going through it for about 4 days. And he goes, look, man, let's just do this. Let's do this. Like, we're both good at what we do. Let's just do this. And that was mid-January. And almost every weekend, minus a few here and there, we've recorded upwards of 20 records, and we've pulled out the ones we want to use for this particular self-entitled project, Sandlot 7778. Yeah. And now it's like a passion. Like, I'm going to bed at 2 because I can't stop thinking about the next thing I want to do. The connection, the songs I want to do. Like, it's a rebirth of like the passion's back. Like,
yeah. Well, I've noticed that because when we were working together, you were doing it, but you were kind of, there was a lot of other things that were kind of
peaks and valleys. Yeah,
preoccupying your mind at that time. Mm-hmm. And you're like, it was more for fun. It wasn't necessarily the biggest drive at that particular point. So I've seen a huge change, and that's a big part of how how that goes. How about you, Paul? Because you remember back in those days with Riquested.
I was just thought it was just awesome. I loved like when you would come in on. We used to do "Ain't No Sunshine," and it's kind of like a soulful bluesy thing, and you just come in with these hot rhymes over it. It sounded awesome. And we used to play with with a keyboard. Do you remember Josh? Mm-hmm. And actually, he kind of he was kind of really excited about the band at first, and where he kind of started losing interest a little bit is like where you weren't rapping, you weren't Like he was like, you guys used to be cool. You guys used to have like rappers come in and do spots, and now you're just kind of like blah.
Now you got a lead guitar and solo every other song.
Just like soloing and everything. Who needs that?
That's messed up, man.
So he was big. He was a big fan. So, but I mean, I see the passion where that's coming from now, and I think that's a huge part of it because this business ain't easy.
No, definitely not.
It's even gotten harder now that you can't really make a dime off the music. You have to make it off of your personality and off your your brand as an artist. That's a lot of cats out there making money. There, I don't even know if they've even recorded a record, but you start hearing this rapper. It's like
real shit though.
Like a single can propel them to the highest level, and they can just write off that one single for 3-4 months before they have to do anything else, but they've already made money. So it's kind of like, as that's hot, they're probably getting endorsements from, I'm looking at that, Halls or some shoe company or something, right?
Yeah. That's a big part of what's going to be going on.
Right.
We're definitely going to talk about that in the third segment. But so I really see that, it's good to see the growth in you, man. And that's why, we brought you on here because you're my boy. But, I got a lot of people that I'm good friends with, but I can't bring them on the radio because they're not there yet.
Right.
Because we the network's known for being the tastemaker in the industry, and the people that come on here are definitely, they're on the rise. They're on the, they come up, and so that's kind of a big thing here. So kind of with that said here, tell us a little bit about the project. We heard a little snippets. We're only playing snippets because y'all got to go out and buy it. Y'all got to go out and get it. If you want to hear the full thing, you got to go out and listen to the whole thing and get it. And we're gonna, actually, why don't we start off with that? How can they find out more about the tracks?
Well, what we've been doing, we're some old school hip hop heads, right? So I had to kind of stop fighting my old stubbornness, right?
The old ways,
right? So we finally got an Instagram page, again, Sandlot 7778. I have my own self-entitled Twitter handle, Riquested at Riquested. Speaks, you want to let people know about your Twitter that you got?
Yeah, SpeakEZ 619.
Yeah, there's a lot of fake speakeasies, but I work with the real speakeasy. This dude is nice, man. He's real humble. Not a chatterbox like myself, but this dude is nice, man. I mean, I'm spoiled. Sometimes I'll be bored, and I feel like we're so in tune right now. I'm like, dang, I wish I could get a beat. It's just gonna sound corny. Bang, this dude hits me like 3 new beats, 5 new beats, and I'm just like, dang, I'm so grateful because I'm telling you, I don't go to bed till 12:32 almost every night because I want to do more. I want to do more music.
That's good.
More and more, like So, Speaks a minute to kind of give you his point of view on how he sees it coming together. But the last thing I will say before he starts talking is that again, it's the value of time for me. Losing people, losing things you love, things that you thought you would hold on to for 80 years that you only hold on to 30 plus. You have to think different. You can't think like you're here forever. So for me, it's the value of time. Time is precious. Waste no time. You got beef with somebody, squash it. You got an idea, put it in your notepad on your phone because time is like all we have. It's like the most precious thing in the world.
But you are new school enough to say put it in your notepad on your phone.
You gotta say that, man. Say that at least.
Yeah, I said write it down on a notepad.
Yeah.
Time is precious, but a smartphone's priceless.
Yeah, pretty much, man. Pretty much.
Except Tino's piece of crap.
Yeah. So the joke, folks, is I'm such a anti-Apple kind of guy. Part of it is because I bought into the Kool-Aid of Microsoft. Oh, we got a little flashing light here. We got about a minute, so I'll finish the story real quick. Yeah. But when Microsoft stopped making phones, I was really sad. I was like you with the chargers, man.
Yeah.
I was like sad. Ask Paul. The day I bought this phone, we came out, and I was like had the most miserable look on my face. He said, "I never seen anybody."
I've seen people come out of the doctor's office with a cancer diagnosis who looked happier than Tino
Wow. Wow.
But I took one for the team because no one else here has an iPhone, so we needed to know what the website looked like on it and stuff. So I like some of the stuff on it. I'm going to say that, but it's frustrating me right now. But this has been the Changing Stage Radio Show. We're talking with Sandlot 7778. My good friend Riquested and his boy SpeakEZ making the beats, making it happen, and Paulie B, guitar solo guy.
Obsolete. My stage name is Obsolete.
That would be a pretty dope MC name, though. You might want to hold on to that. Put that in your phone notepad.
A new name for you, Paul. That's awesome. So this has been the Changing Stage Radio Show. Big shout out to Pitbull Audio. Make sure you go out to the clinics that are coming up here. We've got the Ableton Live Clinic coming up on the 5th. And, of course, we've got Periphery with Mark Holford coming up on the 11th. So stay tuned. We'll be right back in a few short moments.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
This is Jackie Bertoni from Jackie's Groove. Come join me weekly on my journey through the music business as I take you behind the velvet rope, interviewing industry notables such as Al Di Meola, Michael McDonald, and Al Jarreau, to name but a few. Listen to their stories on being in the studios recording #1 hits and onto the stages throughout the globe. Allow me to be your music historian. You can hear me live every Monday at 2 p.m. and every Wednesday at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time or 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com. Ready to get your groove on?
Hi, I'm Tim Dolbear, the host of Sound Experience on Intertalk Radio. Each week, I talk with top professional audio engineers, producers, musicians, and the manufacturers that make the tools that we use in the studio each and every day. From capturing the perfect take to mastering your final release, and the tools and how the pros use them, we are going to dive deep into their process and learn from their experience. I look forward to you joining us each week on Sound Experience with me, your host, Tim Dolbear.
Make this your vinyl night. I'm John J.R. Robinson, and every week, music creation comes alive through stories, experiences, and sounds when vinyl records filled our hearts and minds. My friends and I share our tips and techniques used in creation of iconic tracks for recording artists such as Michael Jackson, Eric Clapton, Quincy Jones, and Steve Winwood, to name a few. Vinyl has emerged hot, and the soul of vinyl defines art and passion which burns deepest at night. Tune in every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on EnterTalkRadio.com.
Welcome to the Changing Stage, music gear talk from the manufacturers and musicians who define the biz. Here's your host, Florentino Buenaventura.
On the storm, unconventional perform. I'm major league, I take the pips like Roger Dorn. Wild thing, tilted crown kings, raise goblets to Sandlot. Fuck thoughts, my roots from black thoughts. History, docs, hip hop, call it how I see it. Taking proceedings from where we sit it. Getting Oakley, Madison Squared. Garden full of kush, harvest and spear. Stress cleared, overlook the edge and hangover. Maybe display J, take over. Dealer flip the ace card over. Blackjack, cash out, the posse mash out. Throw bricks at glass out, escape.
Ooh, that's another joint in the second segment of the Changing Stage radio show, powered by EnterTalk Radio Networks. You're into all things music, and we are here with Sandlot 7778, Mr. Riquested and SpeakEZ. So I'm gonna throw this a little bit as a little something at SpeakEZ here, man.
What's up?
So, where does your inspiration for the grooves come from? How do you go? I'm gonna take this, this feeling I have and turn it into a beat.
I just started from back in the day, just listening to old school type of stuff. Not old school, I mean like Nas, early stuff, Illmatic, you know what I mean? Nas is written, stuff like that, and just kind of like developing my sound from there.
Now, whatever happened to Nas, right?
Right? No, real
seriously, like that brother was like the guy, and then all of a sudden he ain't don't hear from him. I don't know. Anyway, I'm sorry.
No, you're so right about that.
So you got these beats, they're coming to you, man, and they're flowing, and do you find there's other things in life that kind of inspire them besides the flavor from before, or do you find like is there like circumstances in your life, or maybe movies or something like that? Is there anything?
Yeah, I mean I'm a big movie fan, so everything I do is probably based on movies, based on real life as well, just certain occurrences that happens, emotions and stuff. But usually it's movies that really inspire me, as far as like old school type movies, just like cool little samples and stuff. I'm always the cat that's trying to listen to a sample, trying to loop it.
Okay.
To,
like what movies were
out of it. Old school, like Tarantino. We go in Al Pacino. We go in old school like that, and then we go further with Matrix. You know what I mean? All that with Wachowski brothers and whatnot. So it comes to a full circle.
Edgy stuff though, but I can tell it's edgy stuff. Cool.
Yeah, for sure.
That's cool. And then now, do you find yourself looking at the beat first, or do you start, now that you've kind of transitioned into doing some stuff, some other types of tracks with Riquested here, do you think melodically, or do you think is it always groove?
It's always groove to me. It's always something that's I'm gonna feel. I'm gonna nod my head. I'm gonna feel like, okay, this sounds good. This sounds like I'm gonna nod my head and listen to, and then I'm gonna give it to him. So it's always gonna be some sort of groove, something that I'm gonna bop to. If not, then I'm gonna play it.
Okay.
Real.
Now, from there, do you just take rhymes that you've had and find the ones that fit? And I'm talking to Riquested. I'm looking at him, so the people over here don't see me looking at you. So I figured,
I'm looking at you in the face.
I got you.
So, they feel you.
Yeah, they do feel me, right?
I think when I didn't have the workmanship that I have now, I would try to do that, and that's not good, because then you're like forcing it, and then
it's not authentic either.
Right? And you could always tell when like you're trying to fit it, as opposed to like when the music motivates you. And I tell this guy all the time, and he's really humble, so he'll never brag about it. I just tell him, dude, like, this is the best music I've ever made. And that's a big statement for me, being that when I was a part of the original Sandlot, the trio, we were some arrogant little 20-somethings, and like you couldn't tell us that you were better. Like we were just way too cocky. But he's pulling out emotions. Like, Jay-Z's got a new project out, and it's a mature MC's type project, right? Yeah. I feel like ours is the same, but I've also heard from 2 or 3 people that they feel as if it's got elements of the old school, but with a current vibe.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was
That's
noticing.
what we're shooting for. That's what we're shooting for.
Yeah, because the way you're using some of the synth loops and stuff like that, it has a little bit more of the flavor of today versus old school stuff. That's it's kind of that techno, but now they call it EDM. I don't know why. I don't know what it changed, and I don't know why the name had to change. It was techno. It was always techno, and
but they got to change it.
Yeah, exactly.
Those dang millennials got to change the name.
Right. So nowadays, when he sends something, I'm basically writing based off of the feeling that his beats give me. I feel like every beat he has emotion, and I'm in a different place where that I want to put emotion out because. Another person who recently passed was one of my two favorite MCs, Prodigy of Mobb Deep. Rest in peace. Dude, man, that guy. I mean, he always felt like my artificial older brother. So it's like if ever I was being lazy, I'd be like, wait, he's got me by like 3 years, and he's still putting out material.
Constantly.
And he passed, and it seems ironic that so many of the greats that pass at a certain point get this crazy workmanship, right? And they got this crazy library. So now that he's gone, he still got music that the people who think he only was making singles. That's all they know him for. We know him and speaks and people we know for fun. You hear the new Prodigy, or we wouldn't even speak. We would just text it to each other. Bam, new Prodigy. And there was like 7, 8 of us that would do that. That's
interesting.
Dope.
That's interesting because that's definitely. I really think that's how the music industry is going to have to work. Is it's too hard to cut through the clutter now. Right. So it's going to have to be, really people sharing and people, inspiring. Me and Paul, how many? I don't know, probably a good couple 300 interviews we've been a part of now, and that's pretty much the same thing. It's just the world is saturated,
Sure.
And I think that if there's one word I could describe everything is saturated.
Now, with that said, do you guys find it's an advantage or a little bit of an uphill battle for you when you mix in some of that like old school, like East Coast, New York stuff, where like most like younger kids, I imagine they got that kind of like Drake sound in their head, and is it hard for them to get past it, or does it sound fresh to them, or they think it's old and whack?
I feel like we got our own niche and we got our own following, so it's just like we're just doing what we do best. So we ain't trying to really follow Drake. We ain't trying to follow like a trend that's going on right now. It's just what we're doing right now, and if you catch on, that's great. If you don't, then fuck you. You know what I mean? Real shit. So, I mean, it's just what it is right now.
I'm waiting for that stuff to just fade away, and I'm surprised.
Me too, but it's not fading away because it's catchy. You know what I mean? It's like Drake has catchy production. You can't front that. Like, he got good production. So, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, if people want to dance to that, that's cool. But we're with the cats that don't want to dance to that. We want someone that listen to lyrics, listen to hip hop. That's what we're
to me, that stuff doesn't sound danceable because like they took the bass out of it, a lot of it.
Yeah, but they got dance rhythms though. They got reggae joints. You know what I mean? They got dance type of joints. Drake's got that locked down. We're Rihanna. You know what I'm saying? So like,
ironically, we have Drake's producer coming on.
Oh, yeah?
Wednesday, yeah.
Nice.
One of the producers, Brian Alexander Morgan.
So you guys got a wide range. That's what you want.
Although he's the guy who his big first hit was Weak from SWV.
Oh dang! I used to love SWV, man. That was a dope group, man. SWV was dope.
So he was the one who brought them to the table. And then throughout his history, he's been able to kind of keep it going. Cool. So we're gonna give a shout out for Jackie's Groove that will be happening on Wednesday with Brian Alexander Morgan. Will be. I'm getting that right. Okay, I had to think about it because sometimes I switch his name around because he's got 3 names in there.
Does he have 3 first names?
Brian Alexander Morgan. So
yeah.
So
special.
But yeah, he's really good, and he's done stuff with Aloe Black. But yeah, it's interesting that you're mentioning that because it's really hard. I can respect some of the stuff that's going on with today's music. It depends. I don't necessarily know if I like the hip hop as much as I like as what we had back in the day. I'm old school. I go like the 80s. I'm like the Message.
I dig that though. I love that.
So
Grandma's fashion too.
So I go all the way back with that, and the 90s obviously was kind of the heyday where rap was
the golden era, as they call it.
Yeah.
I just feel like music is so vast now, so where there's so many people that could just find their own niche and just find that now. Instead of just people trying to just buy albums just because that's the only thing they could do is just buy albums. Now everyone is at their, they could just find whatever they want to find at the touch of the fingers and just be like, okay, I like this.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
sure. So, actually, one of the big questions I have for that is I understand where Sandlot came from. Well, first off, where did the first part of that, Sandlot, did it come from the movie?
Definitely, because my boy who passed, seldom seen, his birthday was Steven. We love sports and music from the onset. And we saw that movie because we used to do. I mean, I grew up in some tough neighborhoods in the South San Diego.
Smalls.
Yeah, we would play baseball off a basketball court. We would just do crazy stuff that like kids would do when they have nothing to do. We just play baseball. And we played off of a friggin' basketball court. And we had all these stupid names. And he goes, "What do you think about Sandlot?" And I was like, "Dang, I really like that name." So he picked the name out. We went through different MC names, and then finally we settled on what we settled on. But what I like most right about now, when somebody sees us with the shirts we have, it always elicits emotion. Like, "Oh, that's tight." So it's like that's perfect. Same thing.
Almost looked like you were making a shirt brand.
Right.
Like any of the other ones that have kind of come out and stuff like that, because it has that look and feel.
Organically,
I like
it happened
that font,
on its
though.
own.
I like how you did that with the colors and everything.
Right. Yeah. Cool. I mean, a mutual friend of SpeakEZ and I, he actually went to school with SpeakEZ. He was like, "Hey, I got a buddy that is in the embroidery business, and he is Matic, and he does incredible work." So
big up to Jay Matic.
Heck yeah, man. That's our boy. He does incredible work. So it started as shirts for the project.
Yeah.
But then people just liked them, and I was like, we got to keep pumping these out. And now it's taken a life of its own. So now we have merchandise.
Yeah. So where does the 778 come from?
Okay, good luck. Sevens, right? That's all good luck.
777.
And then
I left off a 7 there.
and then Steve was born in 1978.
Okay.
We're 80s babies in the sense to we were babies in the 80s, right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to tie that in and just, that's kind of where it all comes
Okay.
into play.
Very
so
cool.
good luck, and the year my boy was born.
All right. Now, how about your respective names? Because you guys weren't born with Riquested and SpeakEZ. How'd you come up with those names?
Go ahead, speak.
Well, for me, I mean, it's just I like to. I don't really speak much, but when I do, I like to speak, greatly. So it's SpeakEZ, and I just saw that from old school stuff to have like SpeakEZ, like bars and whatnot back in the day when the Prohibition was going on. So I just felt like that was underground. So I felt like, hey, let me do that too. You know what I mean?
Kind of gangster on multiple levels.
Word up. You know what I'm saying? On multiple levels.
On multiple levels. So, and how about you, Mr. Riquested?
I think it's just from my peer group, my social group.
And that's I also want to. It's spelled RISQUESTED, right?
It's all kinds of hard. It's RIQUESTED. So I basically substituted the first E with an I. Because it's a metaphor. It's a name like Rick Quested and Requested. So it's metaphorical. It's like my name and the word itself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because at one point it was Rick Quested. Yeah. And then my ex-girlfriend, she's like, that's
your ex-girlfriend changed it up.
She said it was too long. She said it was too long. She goes, just bring it together.
She needs love, dude.
I did. You should have known, right?
Your girl changed it up.
Yeah, she was like, you should just make it like one name. And I did it. Yeah. So I did it. It was cool. It fits, man, because I've always had brothers that weren't my blood brothers because of my descent, Caribbean descent, growing up in South San Diego. There's not a lot of us here. So, just kind of ringleader-ish type stuff, I guess. I don't know.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's very cool. And, you guys we played a couple of tracks, and you're actually working on a lot more. Mm-hmm. How many tracks do you have that will be released, or where are we at right now with...
So we have like unofficially upwards of 20. We decided we were going to pull out 9 of those 20. And then it's not that the other stuff's not good enough as much as it's just
not finished.
If it's not finished or it doesn't flow with everything. And he keeps making doper stuff all the time. So we're like, I think we'll be done. And then he'll make something else. And I'm like, oh no, we got to stop and do something else.
Yeah.
And there's been a couple times where we motivate each other on the fly where he made a beat that maybe didn't resonate with him, and then I did, and then it motivated him to write, but then he was intimidated, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Strong sides like that. We talked about it on the way up. He was just like, I picked the big old weight up, dropped it, and was like, you could try to pick it up, and then
let's see what you do. Let's see what you do.
And I went and I picked it up, and then
it's always a competition. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna drop some bars, like let me see what you do, and that's what I love about it because he always comes with it. He always comes with it when I'm always saying, hey, let's do it. He always brings that.
Yeah. Now, you guys are recording these joints over at our good friend. They're over at Signature Sound with Luis.
Yes,
Yep. Nice.
Yeah, so tell us how you guys got connected with that.
Kind of funny, man. You guys remember the Headleys from In Living Color? The Jamaicans with like 17 jobs and stuff.
Yeah.
Again, I'm bigging up my Caribbean peeps. So we work. That's what we do, man. You got to be on your books. You got to work. Like that's all you're supposed to do. Just work and go to school. So I was doing. I don't want to endorse anybody, but I was doing one of those. One of the companies that pick people up or whatever. And I met this gentleman. It was late, North Park, because everybody's drinking in North Park. And we just start shooting the breeze, and come to find out he's a Dallas transplant, and he just got a gig there working as the engineer.
Over at Signature.
Yeah. Brian, a good dude, man. Really good guy. Brian Stamps. And we just, I had his number, and we had another engineer situation, but we didn't want to just do one. We were like, hey, I got another buddy too. Let's check it out. Let's see what we could do. Let's mix it up. So then we I reached out to him, and he was very forthcoming with the information. Hey, if you want to, record anything, if you want to put it on this, there was no funky business, which I've dealt with a lot in San Diego.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So maybe because he's from out of town, I don't know.
San Diego's a kind of interesting town. We obviously got a lot of, relations with the music industry here. We're probably doing a lot more now, though, outside of this city. Quite a bit more, right, Paul? Yeah. It's been interesting. And like you said, it's rough because the city in general is all about fair weather, right?
Very passe.
Most up.
Yeah, so if it's unfortunate, like the sports teams, if they ain't doing that,
nobody can see me roll my eyes, but I definitely rolled them.
Yeah. So I had to bring that up.
I know, man.
For you, brother. I'm sorry, but it is honestly.
I mean, people really move here for the fair weather.
It's
mentality.
It's figurative and literal that they're here. So, I think that's part of the whole thing, and I think that I was up. We were just doing an interview with the guy who owns the most, I guess, the largest pro audio retail company, Westlake Pro Audio, and and we were talking a bit about big studios, name studios, and they're shrinking, but the ones that are there are really starting to flourish and grow now. Whereas for a couple 3 years ago, people were scared. They were like, wow, what's going on with this industry? Everyone's doing it at home, but now people are recognizing there's a value to kind of go back into it.
Oh, yes.
But when we were talking about San Diego, there really wasn't any studios here that had that.
Right.
Though Signature Sound is probably the one that has, really done some really cool things. Santana, they did a lot of stuff. Santana, Blink 182. They had what was it? Oh, I can't remember Homeboy's name for the life of me now. He was big though.
Can you remember any of the plaques they had over there? No. I know they had Grammys out of there per Brian, and that motivated us. We're like, man, we need to get a Grammy out of here.
I saw that.
Let's get a Grammy out of here.
So we're going to be cutting back to another commercial break here. So as I see that, this has been the Changing Stage Radio Show. We're just having a good time with my good friends in Sandlot 7778. And Mr. Riquested and, of course, SpeakEZ, Speaking the Easy, and Paul Berezesky, Paul B, also known now as Obsolete. And we'll be right back in a few short minutes for the third and final segment of the Change Stage Radio Show, brought to you by Pitbull Audio.
Hi, I'm Tim Dolbear, the host of Sound Experience on Intertalk Radio. Each week, I talk with top professional audio engineers, producers, musicians, and the manufacturers that make the tools that we use in the studio each and every day. From capturing the perfect take to mastering your final release, and the tools and how the pros use them, we are going to dive deep into their process and learn from their experience. I look forward to you joining us each week on Sound Experience with me, your host, Tim Dolbear.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
You know what's all around you every waking moment of your life? Marketing. You're choking on it. I'm Scott Robertson, and when it comes to strategic PR, branding, and marketing, I've seen it all. And actually, I'm still seeing it because bad marketing never sleeps. Join me each week on May the Best Brand Win, right here on InterTalk Radio, and learn how to make the marketing for your brand unforgettable.
This is Jackie Bertoni from Jackie's Groove. Come join me weekly on my journey through the music business as I take you behind the velvet rope, interviewing industry notables such as Al DiMeola, Michael McDonald, and Al Jarreau, to name but a few. Listen to their stories on being in the studios recording #1 hits and onto the stages throughout the globe. Allow me to be your music historian. You can hear me live every Monday at 2 p.m. and every Wednesday at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time or 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com. Ready to get your groove on?
Welcome to the Changing Stage, music gear talk from the manufacturers and musicians who define the biz. Here's your host, Florentino Buenaventura.
It's number 3, guys. It's number 3 on the Changing Stage radio show, powered by the mighty InterTalk Radio Networks. You're into all things music, and we are into what's going on with Sandlot 7778. Me and Mr. Paul Berezeski, who's co-hosting with me today, kind of giving his 2 cents in on this incredible group with some amazing talent, Mr. Riquested and Mr. SpeakEZ here, gentlemen that we've worked with musically back in the day, and hopefully we'll be getting some stuff going on. We've got our good friend Darrell Miller, or actually Darrell Dexter. I got to give his
Dot-X.
Dot-X, that's right, coming back, and I might get back on stage. So people keep asking me if I will. Paul gets a chance to get out there and play a little bit, but we'll give a shout out to Toga Party.
Toga Party.
My boy out here, man, he's just to keep his chops sharp. He's out playing with a group they wear togas when they get out there, and because they wear togas, they get a lot of gigs. And they're pretty damn good.
They're a good band. Yeah, solid.
So yeah, it's pretty awesome. So on this segment, man, I want to kind of talk to you guys about the industry and how things are. Obviously, we talked a lot about how you make the music, the passion behind it, because that's really where everything kind of comes in. But it has to be sustainable,
right?
And it has to be able to go somewhere, because as much as it's nice to listen to it in your joint and maybe a few friends, you all want to get it out to people. What's your thoughts on the landscape of the music industry, and how are you guys planning to make this this big splash into this huge deluge, or what's the word I'm looking for, Mr. Grammar guy?
Deluge?
Deluge.
I love that word.
Deluge.
That was one of my favorite words.
Deluge, yeah. The deluge of, just a bunch of stuff. Some good, some not so good.
I mean, for me, I kind of equate it to like a school project, when you're old enough to make a real good one. So 6th grade, junior high school, if you had to do a project and they were like, you have to have a company, you got to make it real good. Like, you want to kill everybody. You want to have the best one, right? I feel kind of like that's how the industry is now. It is saturated, like you mentioned earlier, but it's also we're all equipped with as many tools as we want. So it's like you're given all the tools, but the only way that you're really going to have the dopest project is how you construct it and your passion. You got to have the passion. You have to have the drive. If you have the drive, the tools are there. You don't even have to pay for anything at all. But yeah, eventually you want to make money, right? Like even the most underground dude is going to be like, yeah, underground, I don't want to sell out. Like you want to make money. You don't want to go sell phones. You want to do shows, right? Yeah. So it's bittersweet to me. I think it's a combination of saturation, which might bum you out at times, but Twitter, for instance, has been very good to me. Much love to Twitter for this past year and a half that I've been on it. Any and everything good, not named SpeakEZ or Tino or Paul, has come from Twitter. Like just networking. Like if you do it right and you're not on there to troll people and waste your freaking time, you can get whatever you want done. I'm doing articles. I'm on a podcast. I'm doing amazing music with my boy here, and that's how I share it and how I get all my contacts. So
interesting. So yeah, that's how presidency was won, right?
Pretty much
40 characters at a time. So whether you agree with what the presidency stands for or not,
in that case, the trolling worked.
Yes, it did. Something in that particular case, it did. But interesting. Yeah, that is definitely. Because we use a lot of Facebook here. We do a lot of. We're starting to do a lot more Instagram. Because social media wise, I was, well, coming back to the whole Microsoft days, we didn't really have Instagram, so
Right.
we had to make up reasons why we didn't have Instagram.
Right. Yeah. So so is your Instagram fairly new then, would you say?
Well, I have a couple of them. The one that we use for the company is somewhat new.
Yeah.
We grow pretty fast. We grew the Twitter pretty fast, so that was
Yeah.
kind of nice. And then Facebook is coming along.
We all had to get a lot of plastic surgery before we could get on Instagram. It took a couple of years.
I got you.
Filters, man. It's always
Yeah,
about
now they got
filters.
the filters. We wasted all that money for nothing. Just slap some kitty ears on you and you're good to go.
Yeah.
Yo, Tino, DJ V's listening. He said, "What's up?"
Oh man, what's he tell him? I said, what's going on?
He's listening. We keep him close, man. He's entourage for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Tell him he's Turtle.
Oh yeah, he is Turtle. He is Turtle.
I'm just joking, brother. I'm just joking,
He is.
man.
No, he probably is.
Well, no, he is because Turtle turned out like Turtle turned out to be like the guy.
That's DJ V.
Yeah,
That guy's
yeah.
a G, man. Love that guy.
Yeah, he did definitely. But she's always been the guy. That's my boy.
Yeah,
That's my boy.
he's like key to the city guy.
Yeah, definitely. We had some good time. Not to kind of go back in that, but we had some good times with that crew. I mean, I did a lot of other carriers, but your carrier and the people there, and everybody from, like I said, Kelly, Lena, and all those guys, and everybody.
Yeah, I tell him all the time. I was like, if you want to work at AT&T, it's not the place to be in and out. Like you got to give up a little bit of your soul. They're gonna take something from you.
Wow.
But it becomes like a fraternity. It becomes like a fraternity. Like Tino and myself, like you're gonna
You
make
said a little bit of soul though.
They are gonna take a little bit of your soul. They are gonna take a little bit of your soul. You can't just work there. You got to give them a little something.
You said like that's a little bit, dog. That's a soul.
If they're
bro.
gonna supply you with the phone and all this other stuff, they got to get a little something, man.
I would have actually more equated to be like in on the front lines in the military.
Yeah,
a little bit of
infrastructure. It really is.
Jesus Christ.
It really is. He's not lying to you.
It can be a little rough
because when you leave, then you're able to do your own stuff because you watch how they format it. It's so structured, man. Like that's
crazy.
the reason why.
But there's a lot of good people. Like I said, almost of my out of that time, most of my friends that I still keep in contact with, we are from the AT&T side of things. So, but yeah, man. Big D money, dude. Much love to you, brother. So, as we're kind of going back to it, and and that's part of the thing is you had to kind of keep a second gig just to kind of help make sure that you can. I hate to put it in these terms, but pay to play. You know,
this is true.
Right.
Yeah,
it's true.
But any business that's worth having is going to require you to invest, and it's the long game. If you're playing a business and it's a short game, it's going to be a short time you're going to be in that business. You might make a little money up front, but come a few years later, what have you, it's going to be, at least most of the time, it's going to be something that you're done and out, after a short time. So,
hey, we're not letting Speece off the hook. We got to see how he feels about the industry right now.
Right now?
Yeah. How you feel about the industry, Don?
I don't feel anything because I don't listen to it.
Nice.
So it's just
Good
me.
answer.
It's just me doing what I'm doing.
Good answer.
And that's what I could be. That's all I could be. Because if I try to strive for the industry, then I'd just be the industry.
True.
You know what I mean?
yeah, definitely. It's a tough one, man, because you got to have fans and people got to like what you're doing.
Exactly.
But you said the key word that I think is missing a lot nowadays is authenticity.
Oh yeah.
And I think Paul brought that up to me one time. We were at a place where there was a lot of young artists, and there were some talented kids in there, but there was like no authenticity.
True.
It's like they just followed this type of thing that they needed to go.
Yeah. They weren't leaders. They were basically followers, and that's a tough one because a lot of that too is the same thing as. As much as YouTube's been a blessing to a lot of people, it's also a curse.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, a lot of kids just, you get it online, and you could get such a wide variety of, like, music and styles and genres, but unless you're, like in the 80s, 90s, dudes would just be, like, rap on the corner, just like, you're in it. You're in the scene in the street, and it's, like, a lifestyle and an experience. You can't just... And same thing with musicians, too. Like, I see these, like... amazing guitar players. They're just like sitting in their bedroom and like shredding along to something really technical.
They get hundreds of thousands, millions of views.
Yeah,
but it doesn't translate into the real world.
You go out and do a live show. It's a completely different skill set.
Yeah. So we found that too with some of the talents that we've worked with. That really incredible talents, but that transition is a tough one. So you guys are starting it from the grit, from the real.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Yeah, I feel like with us, in a sense, kind of ignorance is bliss too, because we're just like, we're buck the system, like, because we're never about the system anyway. So we're just doing it as organic as possible. And
that's why I don't understand you didn't have Public Enemy back in the day.
No,
really?
I'm just giving you.
Come on.
I'm saying from the sense of, LL Cool J.
I need love.
It wasn't just that song, man. He had his whole stilo was just dope, man. For that, he was like 16, and I was like, dang, he was killing it. He was
really good.
Yeah,
he has some.
Yeah, and that's kind of how Mobb Deep was. They were like 16, and when I started rapping originally, kind of really trying, I was in my teens, but I don't think I really kind of stepped to it with like more of a professional mindset until I was in my 20s, like early 20s, right? So now, as a mature adult, like, it sucks. Like you said, it's saturated. The market's saturated. Like everything is. Every industry is saturated when it comes to...
Anybody who has a computer can make a beat.
Right. Roll out of bed.
Can it make it authentic beat?
Yeah.
Can it make it real?
Exactly.
Is it like what you said when you're talking about speaking and you listen to the music and that music spoke,
Oh, heck yeah.
Not paraphrase that, but it spoke to you.
Definitely.
And you feel that there was an emotive, even though it's coming from, machines,
right?
There's still an emotional quotient to the whole thing.
Exactly.
Right.
You just got to find something that's authentic to you and bring that out. Like, you listen to like Wu-Tang, like, those guys like rob people and and stole shit, and that's authentic. That doesn't mean you need to go out there and rob people and steal shit.
But
too.
do you though? Do what you're gonna do?
Yeah,
what I mean?
whatever it is
sure.
that
What he's
makes
asking,
you.
Paul, is do you go out and rob people?
Do you rob shit?
How do you think we got all this gear here?
I know he drove up with his truck one day and said,
Dude, you see
check
this
it out,
nice
we got a
guitar, this
studio."
Presonus? Where do you think all this came from?
Nice.
He's thieving.
He's, how do you think I got this Prius on 16?
It's all fell off the back of a truck.
Oh man,
we did not have any kind of nefarious activities.
I'm
giving my what do they call that? My disclaimer. We have the sentiments and thoughts of Paul Berzeski do not represent the thoughts of the station, although he's an owner.
So they kind of do.
So yeah, man, it's a crazy industry right now, and I'm definitely I'm looking forward to seeing that you guys have that little spark that will can break through the the saturation of everything.
The monotony of it all. Yeah.
No, definitely. That's what we're trying to do. Just trying to find that niche. Just trying to following that we have as far as music and people trying to follow us. I mean, that's what we're trying to do. So I mean, if we do that, then we're doing what we're trying to do.
Yeah,
man.
For sure.
So what's next? Where are you guys? I mean, we just did a radio show.
Mm-hmm.
Where are we at minutes wise? I can't really read it from here, Paul.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. We got a good enough time.
Yeah, we can do a whole show.
Yeah. We still got a whole nother show to go on.
Let's go.
but I don't think 5 minutes is enough to talk about where you guys are versus where you're going to be. So let's kind of look at some of the things. Let's look into the future a little bit.
The production part now. So we're in the final stages of like trimming the fat, mixing and mastering, all that stuff, and then we have plenty of new music that's going on as we're wrapping this one up. So that's the great thing. It's not like now once this is done, we're done. We got more to come. It's the beginning as opposed to just us concluding this project. Like we're fully immersed. Like we're here. We're back and ready. We're ready to go for the 2000 whatever we're in now. The teens to
so
be
just
20s.
waiting on that mixing and mastering. Late August, we're gonna have the album out and we're gonna be straight. And then we're gonna start slinging it.
Now, where are you guys gonna put the album?
I think on every platform, Apple, DatPiff. We want to take it back to the old school. We haven't disclosed a number, but we want to get some hardcore, the old school hard copies as well. Just because I feel like that.
You're gonna go CD hard copy, or you're gonna go actual vinyl?
Dang.
Analog tape, son.
Analog tape, son.
Yeah, we got to look at some packages. That's tight. I didn't think about that at all. But we definitely want to have some physical and tangible because of what you said, because how the kids are. You know what I mean? A lot of times I would go to YouTube and my favorite rapper would be on, and I'd be like, I'd feel guilty, so I don't listen to like 5 or 6 songs. I'm like, I'm not gonna listen to his whole album. I'm gonna go buy it or download it because he should get paid. So.
Well, I think you guys touched on it, and I think rap at least is the smarter of the genres right now, because rock and roll still kind of pushed away from the commercialization of it. But the reality is, sponsors are going to have to be able to kick in to make it to where the art can flourish. I tell people, everything that we've seen, all the interviews we had with some of the top people in the industry, to all the new emerging groups, it comes down to this: we're not going to see a arena where you can sell your music unless they come up with something completely
right.
Something that we couldn't conceive of right now, which again, that you can't bank on that. So at this particular point, paying for music is not necessarily something that's going to be a driver for people's income. Concerts are definitely there, but you can't always have that. You can't always be out there. And at this particular point, it's not, the way people did concerts before, to where it was financially supportable, was with tour support from labels, and labels don't do that anymore. So how is it going to happen? It's going to be with sponsorship. So, coming from the idea of where the sports figures, Adidas kicking down money, and like you said, if Halls wants to get in on the artist action, or
at the end of the day, it's still going to be AT&T paying your bills.
Oh wait.
Well, let me make sure I give a shout out.
No, but you know what though? It's also beat placement. It's also like stuff you don't think about, like doers, like liquor stuff that's going on online. Yeah. As far as they just wanted just underground beats just to project onto their commercials, and that's what we're trying to do. as well.
And then one of our good friends, Juscan Dupree, we're talking about that before the show started. We're getting some stuff ready for him. He's one of the in the city. He's definitely the top placement of tracks and stuff like that. So maybe I'll bridge you guys some connections. But yeah, that is.
Please do.
Yeah,
please do, sir.
So. Yeah, we're heavy into the placement industry, because I've seen my younger brother ATO Worldwide. Shout out to him and his big head. ATO Worldwide, physically, not mentally. And then my cousin Lassick. These guys have definitely shown me the power in placement. So me and Speaks want to follow their footsteps and do more. I've got a couple intros here and there. But there's a heavy market in that if you want it to be lucrative.
The video side of things still pays royalties
for
pretty
sure.
Well. So that's going to be something there. But yeah, sponsorships is going to be a huge thing. So I think that's it, because honestly that's how music started in back in the day. I'm talking about Mozart, Beethoven, all those guys. Patrons would pay to have these people be supported so that they can create music for the world.
For sure.
Now, that would be the case. So we are at our last minute. I see that little flashing orange light there on the computer monitor. So with that said, you got a minute. What do you want the world to know?
I want the world to know that bars are back. Bars are important. Sandlot 7778 is a hip-hop reboot of some golden era hip-hop, and we're here.
And we're about to bring it into the new age. Big ups to Nuisance, big ups to Nate, big ups to Nick, big ups to everybody.
Lassick, Baron, Lines, my beautiful wife and daughter, Stephanie
big
Martin.
Big ups to Jessica, wifey.
Kalea Martin. We're doing this for y'all.
Awesome. And for all the good friends that we've known and that we mutually know out there that might be listening, Daniel. Definitely thank you.
Yeah, he's texting me right now.
For tuning in, guys. This is some special time. I love seeing folks come up. We had two. Was on Jackie Bertoni's show. She was with us back in the day. So, as that said, that's the music. So this has been the Changing Stage radio show powered by Intertalk Radio Network. You're into all things music, and it's been a great time with Riquested and with SpeakEZ and Sandlot 7778. Mr. Paul Berezeski, Mr.
Obsolete out, sir.
Thank you very much for tuning in.
Thanks a lot, gentlemen.
Sandlot.
Thanks for having us.
And stay tuned for the next show.
You know what's all around you every waking moment of your life? Marketing. You're choking on it. I'm Scott Robertson, and when it comes to strategic PR, branding, and marketing, I've seen it all. And actually, I'm still seeing it because bad marketing never sleeps. Join me each week on May the Best Brand Win, right here on Intertalk Radio, and learn how to make the marketing for your brand unforgettable.
Hi, this is Tim Dolbear from Eclectica Studios. I'm a full-time mixing and recording engineer. I work with Grammy winners, labels, and indie artists, using state-of-the-art digital mixing and restoration tools and the very best in analog gear. Really, though, it's my ability to bring tracks to life and fulfill your vision for your music. This has made me sought after by producers and artists worldwide. So spend your time working on music and not chasing a mix down a rabbit hole. Go to timdolbear.com and check out our free one-song mix offer.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
This is Jackie Bertoni from Jackie's Groove. Come join me weekly on my journey through the music business as I take you behind the velvet rope, interviewing industry notables such as Al DiMeola, Michael McDonald, and Al Jarreau, to name but a few. Listen to their stories on being in the studios recording #1 hits and onto the stages throughout the globe. Allow me to be your music historian. You can hear me live every Monday at 2 p.m. and every Wednesday at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time or 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com. Ready to get your groove on?